Yo, what's happening? We back in here. It's 9 o'clock or something like that. 9:01.
Or something like that.
Something like that. Hey, it's your boy Tyrone, aka Mr. Chocolate. We're back at you, the Good Guy Experience Live. I got the big homie Black Pearl.
Hey guys.
What's going on? We got the doctor. I said the doctor's in the house. Dr. Royal Rain. What's going on?
What's up, fam?
Got that thing straightened out, laid to the side.
Okay.
You know it's a problem when she's got it laid to the side.
When the doctor's in the house, it's all good.
Yes, sir. And we got the big homie, our Balo the Great, in the house. What's happening? What's happening?
Hey,
All right. Hey, so we're gonna come back at you today. All right. So we're gonna go over a couple of things, man. You know, but first off, what's going on? How y'all's week been? Everybody had a good week.
Yeah.
Thus far, man, no complaints.
Yeah.
All right. This user, what's up, folk? What's up with you, folk? All right, Ty, what's good? Somebody knows me. Hey, I don't know who it is. Hey, state your name unless you got warrants. Then I ain't trying to, we ain't trying to, do no snitching here. All right.
Stay undercover then.
Hey man, I see you still rocking the Cowboys hat. That's a real fan. I appreciate that, Balo.
Dedication.
That's dedication.
Man, I've been a Cowboy fan since the day I came to this earth, 1977 on them.
Really?
We ain't gonna win nothing until we get rid of Jerry Jones, but I'm gonna still ride with him.
Hey, y'all had a nice little run. You had a nice little run a long time ago.
I watched that game Sunday now.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
it's like y'all got hurt and everybody else was scared. That's what it seemed like to me.
Man, but I'm a Panthers fan, from the beginning of it. And so, I don't be hating on the Cowboys like some people do, man. Some people just be picking on the Cowboys. I do enjoy the memes. I can't lie. They make the best.
I hate the Cowboys though.
They make the best memes.
We can see the hating and the hate in your voice right now. I can feel it.
Who? Not me.
Listen, you can say whatever you want. Listen, cowgirls are really good at talking shit, but they choke real quick.
But you ain't heard me talk nothing though. I've been quiet over
I said cowgirls. It's not just you. You represent us, But again, honestly, I love going back and forth with a Cowboy. I love it. You guys all have wonderful energy.
So your team is.
No, we're not going there. We could come back. We can come back. No, wait. We could come back for a football show. I'm just saying that's not what we're here for today.
Okay.
Come back for a football show. Absolutely.
She probably a Giants fan. She
No, probably. I am. It's okay. Just like other fans, I'm not gonna let it go because they're having a bad.
Though, hold on, the Giants. What happened to them? Oh, wait a minute, Black Pearl. They got smacked too.
They did get smacked.
How you gonna talk about that smack and they on the couch too?
Because I love to hate the Cowboys.
We gonna come back to that. No, we gotta talk about that for a second. They got smacked too.
Okay. We'll have a football show.
Right, so all of our teams on the. Well, I know Ray. You got a team.
No, I don't get into that. Yeah.
Okay. So,
I just entertain.
So everybody's team is on the couch, so it don't even matter. So I guess that's the end of that until next season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Hey, I was looking, man. Man, y'all hear about gas prices about to go to $4 in April? Did I see that?
No,
I did not.
They said that a couple of times the gas prices were going to jump up
to $4 in North Carolina. You mean?
I mean, as a national average, they do a national average, and hopefully that's like California, and we stay in the threes or something.
Absolutely,
to match all those expensive eggs that's out there.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys got out there. Get your gas now. I guess as long you wait.
It's gonna last till April.
You play that gas game with your car. You be driving. You driving. You're like, oh man, I'll get some tomorrow. Hopefully it'll go down. That thing jump. I'd be hurt when they jump up by 20 cents. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, you bastards!
Anything dealing with gas, man. No, it's all politics, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I thought they were putting the I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, think about it is, man. If they really want the gas prices to be lower, it doesn't take much for that to happen. The problem of it is you got both sides of the aisle fighting, but they ain't paying the consequences for it. We are. Nah. They disagree with one another. Who pays the consequence of us? That's what every aspect of life. I don't care what it is. But when they get on their little high horses and can't agree, we pay the price. And the problem of it is, then they go out and seek out votes. Like they ain't done nothing wrong.
Well, technically, it goes with the original agenda that they had about 2 years ago that they wanted to promote electric cars more. Yeah. So they want to put that into motion so that more people be like, oh, I'm not doing this. I need to go buy an electric car. So it was an agenda or to improve the non-existent but existent, global warming and all the other stuff. So I agree with you. Also that we pay the price when they don't get along, but this was an agenda for electric vehicles they were pushing for a couple of years.
So I ain't gonna lie, that new electric Dodge Ram, man, I can't wait till it hit the market. That thing go hard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I seen that was like, man, how much it costs, man. Let me go.
I think I'm gonna give them a couple of years on the electric. I'm gonna give them a couple of years, and then they gotta get.
Actually, I'm gonna get my daughter one, man. Not gonna lie to you. My daughter's a college student, man. I got hey, listen. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get her one, man. I mean, it ain't gonna be new. It's gonna be a Tesla, but it ain't gonna be new. It's gonna be the bottom. It's gonna be the bottom of the line with 2 D-cell batteries in the back, but it'll work.
Look, that's it. She can get around, right?
Yeah, she'll be with it. She'll be happy.
Hey man, look, say she can use her car charger to charge it up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, so hopefully it's wrong and gas goes down, don't go up, but we shall see. We shall see. All right. Now, tonight we'll talk a little bit about, man, I'm letting the ladies get the hate mail first. All right. I'm letting the ladies, what we talking about tonight, ladies?
I'm assuming that I'm the one who's gonna say it. Since
you go ahead and say it, because
so today we want to talk about the lack of accountability that females have.
Okay.
And when we talk about lack of accountabilities, we're talking about their role in being accountable for the choices they make, their role in financial things, romantic things, and how females have this wonderful way of turning things around instead of admitting they're wrong or saying I'm sorry or just being accountable. Okay, so I said it. Y'all go ahead, throw things at me. Go ahead.
I'm going to throw something at you real quick. Mr. Chocolate, can I throw something at Madam Pearl?
Oh, I got something thrown at me. Okay, go ahead.
So the other day you had posted a poll. Mm-hmm. Yes. Can you highlight us on what the outcome was? Because if memory serves me correctly, the question had to do with
what do we think is the hardest thing for a female to say or admit? I think is what I said.
Yes.
And the one that won was I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I believe is the one that won. Is that what you saw?
Yes, that was the last thing I saw, but I wasn't sure if it stayed.
Yeah, it stayed. So the options were I'm wrong, I'm sorry. There was one more. I can't remember. Sorry. See, you threw it and I wasn't ready. Right. But the funny thing is someone asked, don't they all mean the same thing in actuality?
I saw that question.
My boy Michael said that. Shout out to Michael, man.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Mike.
I'm trying to get Michael on one night, man. We gotta get Michael
on. You were right. You were right. It was the last one.
I don't know who Mr. Michael is, but listen.
We can get him on one night.
When Pearl came back with her question to him and he didn't respond, I said, okay. Well, maybe I need to massage Mike a little bit, just a little bit. Let me put my hands on him a little bit and see if I can get a response from him by putting it in a different context. And so the context in which I put it was, if you going back and forth with your lady, right? And you know what your response would be, like as far as what response would be difficult for you. I want you to think about it being in the reverse. So
Did he answer?
He still did not answer.
Michael, we waiting.
Mike, I need you.
Waiting, Mike.
I need you.
My ear's little, but I'm waiting.
Yes, because I really wanted to hear from him what his thoughts were on that, because there is a difference. And I told him, I said, it's about context, because when you think about the fact of somebody being wrong, then that means that there's a disagreement, right? That's how I take it, right? And then the other option was, you're right. Well, that could be just a general conversation.
Yeah.
Me and my friend down here in the corner with me, Mr. Balo, right? So we could be having a disagreement, but we're gonna end up at the end of the day, because that's how I flow. We're gonna end up coming to an impasse, and we're just gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna dap it up and be like, all right, boo, love you back. You know, that's pretty much how I operate anyway. But if we did disagree, it would be a matter of you're right or I'm wrong in that sense. So for me to say, yeah, Mr. Benson, right.
So
saying like there's
either a disagreement or a misunderstanding based off circumstances.
Correct, exactly. Are you asking me which one?
Yes.
It would be circumstances, right. Absolutely. So that's what I was trying to just get Mr. Michael to come on, Mr. Mike, come on out. But go ahead. Let's dig into this thing, because the viewers are not gonna like my opinion.
So since I'm starting the hate mail,
come on with it.
From my experience looking out, I do find that sometimes women cannot say that they're wrong, and that they struggle to be accountable for the decision that they made. And so in turn, what you get is this thing that's called DARVO, which is D means deny, A means attack, and RVO is reverse. You know, now you're the person who did it, but you're reversing it on the other person, which tends to be crying, cursing, saying you ain't ish, that type of thing.
That's what was happening. Some bitch. Dang, okay.
And I'm just trying to figure out why do you, as the men right now, think that happens?
I'm gonna let you go first, Tyrone.
So why? I mean, I think, you know, I think a lot of it is I know some of it's generational, I think, too, with it. I think a lot of women come up in this, you know, era of, you know, just kind of being on a pedestal, you know, like, yo, everybody's a queen, everybody, you know, it's all everybody's the black girl magic, and it's awesome. I love queens, I love black girl magic, but everybody ain't a queen. I'm sorry.
Facts.
Everybody's magic, ain't magic, and then, you know, so, but some of those people who not quite the queens, they ain't met the criteria, feel like queens, and, you know, you can't tell them nothing otherwise, you know. So when you say something to them, they get defensive, you know, and first thing they do is lash out at you. You know, some people can't take criticism very well, you know. You know, it happens to men too, but we're talking about women tonight. So I don't want to hear that tonight. What about the men?
Well, we always talk about the men. We always talk about the men. Men don't do this. Men, we always do. We always do.
So yeah, so I think that's part of it. It just kind of culture what we got going on right now. But man, go ahead, Baylor, man. You go ahead and hit him. I know you. Baylor be practicing his deep thoughts. I know you got something deep in there. Go ahead and hit him, bro.
So in my you know situation, it always boils down to maturity, respect, and communication. You know, it always breaks down to one of those three levels. Really starting with communication between two individuals. male and female. It always starts with a simple breakdown of communication. If you I don't understand what you're trying to portray to me or what you're trying to disseminate down to me, then it's going to be angst. It's going to be a little bit of friction. The second part of that is, once it breaks down, where do you go to from that? The respect level starts to fall apart. I don't respect your opinion. Your respect, I've already been through this in my life. Why do I have to go through this again? You end up being the same person. They always say, you know what I'm saying, I dealt with this type of no good brother before. You acting the same way. It's the respect. You don't respect him because you've been through a situation. And last but not least is maturity. Are you mature enough to carry on this type of conversation with someone without it getting to that deteriorating to that next level? And you can look at it from this standpoint. When the two people go into a relationship, there's always gray. There's always going to be a gray area. It can be finances, it can be history, it could be traumatic, issues that happened in the past. If you guys do not speak about that at some point in time in the beginning stage of relationship, then eventually those three, communication, respect, and maturity, they're gonna break down. They're gonna break it down every time. And a lot of times, our women, and especially our Black queen, you were dealt 2 strikes from the get-go. You're Black and you're a woman.
Facts.
Now, over the years, you have gotten Black women have become more empowered, but you're still behind the 8 ball. So when you get in a relationship, especially with another Black man, when those come out, it's always like you lash out at him because things, maybe things wasn't right in the past, and you see a common person in a common image that may not be him, but it is him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, I told y'all. I told y'all.
You made wonderful points.
Working on that one.
You did.
You made wonderful points. I think that outside of that, some of it is just manipulation. Your comments were excellent. I don't want to take away from that, but some of it's a manipulation. We as women know most of the time the man that we're with, we know their weak spot.
So that's respect.
I'm with you. And the easiest weak spot is crying or overwhelming that man, right? That's the common thing. I think a lot of us say that we love the person we're with because that gets thrown out real easy, but we don't respect them. And I think a man thrives more on the respect of a woman than the love because it kind of comes together. Like if you have respect and then the love, that's good. But
men are bigger on respect than anything.
Yeah.
If you don't respect the man,
exactly. So when you lose respect for a man, it's a wrap. And respect also comes with trust, right? I trust that you're not steering me the wrong way. But then the question is, are you making me as a woman feel that I'm heard, that I'm understood, right? Because if I don't feel like it, then I start tripping because I feel like you don't hear me. So it just depends what angle. But I think the most important angle is that angle you just said. But I'm saying to you, most of the time it's manipulation.
So one of the more talked about, or maybe not talked about, angles of female accountability is sexual accountability, right? Sexual accountability, like who's accountable for what happens in the bedroom for the most part. So I got a clip and play this clip. Gonna give credit because I don't want to get no strikes now. So this is if you follow YouTube and the YouTube sphere, this is Pearly Things is her YouTube channel.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, she's like a big YouTuber. She's I follow some of her stuff. She made some points. Some women don't like her because she be kind of coming at women really hard. But this is her take on sexual responsibility, and see what we think afterwards.
So I get a lot of pushback for this opinion. And this is my opinion that if you get pregnant and you're a single mother and it's out of wedlock or whatever, it's 99.9999% the woman's fault. I'll tell you why. As women, we have a million choices. We have 41 forms of birth control. We can require that the men we sleep with wear condoms. We can choose abstinence and to wait till we're married. We can also require marriage before sex. We can also, if we don't do any of those things, you can get a plan B. If that doesn't work, you can get an abortion. I'm not saying I recommend any of these things, but at the end of the day, there was like 10 decisions. We also are in control, not in control. We know when we're ovulating, and we have the ability and the choice to track when you're ovulating and not have sex on those days. So at the end of the day, there's like 10 choices that you made irresponsibly that got you pregnant. Where the man only made one choice, condom or no condom. After that, it is on you. And when you had 10 choices and he had one, I'm sorry, we have more responsibility.
You talking about hate mail?
Sorry, not sorry, but she's dead on it.
Woo-wee!
So
Ooh,
so you hear this a lot. You hear this a lot when people, who's responsible in the bedroom. You hear people talking about, the dirty dog men who out here. But, who's got the most options out here? That's just a numbers thing, a fact. So, so what do you guys think about that?
Don't start with me.
So I'm gonna start out with this. First of all, women know that they have the privilege. They are women. I don't care what race you are, ethnicity you are. Women are truly privileged. And they're privileged because ultimately, due to various constructs, whether it's social constructs, the feminism movement, which is societal constructs, and some other stuff that plays into this. But ultimately, because of the constructs that exist, women know that they can place a blame game on the opposite sex, and it's going to be what it's going to be. And until men, my fellas, again, no matter what your race, your ethnicity is, until you all start confronting women, us, on our ish, it's going to continue. The issue that we're talking about right now is going to continue to be perpetuated. So when she spoke to the fact that women have these 10 options and men have this one, which is whether to hit it or not, basically, and when they
choose to hit it,
yeah, and hitting it, whether to use a condom or not use a condom on his part, when she got all these other options, yeah, ma'am, it's you, it sure is you, and don't get mad when he decides that he's not ready, because guess what? We are the ones who have the ability to create life. That I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm gonna keep it real clean. Let me break it down for you, fellas. Y'all have the option of massaging yourself, and when your seed is released, I said I'm gonna keep it clean.
You doing good, girl.
I am.
You're doing good.
And so I am. I'm here tonight. I'm good. And so after you massage yourself and your seed is released, guess what? It's just released, whether it was inside of a person or not. But at this point, you're massaging. What is this doing?
Yeah.
So my point is, without that woman who is the mother of this earth, literally, nothing can be created or formed without the woman, period. I need women to stop playing games. And let me say this, and I'm gonna shut up.
Go ahead, girl.
Mr. Chocolate, earlier you talked about the fact that you see the issue of women not being held accountable as a generational thing. All right, so I'm gonna get some hate mail, but it's all right.
Go ahead.
The generational aspect of things relates to what we're talking about right now, which is our single mamas that's out here in this world and the whole feminism movement. I don't need no man. I don't need you.
Okay.
Come on
What you
now,
gonna do?
doctor.
Speak on it. I'm hearing that a lot lately, man.
Yes, I don't need a man,
Don't
baby.
need a
You
man.
listen, if you go throughout this life, you need somebody. So because none of us can exist without somebody. Do you know how miserable? And when people say this, I don't even think they really think about what they're saying. Do you really believe if you go throughout this life all by your lonesome, you're gonna be okay?
Apparently they do.
Please pick up a book.
I didn't say it works.
I
just said
know,
apparently
but they need to pick up a book, go talk and have stimulating conversation with somebody that's intellectual and understand you cannot exist alone. A person that's placed in solitary for 6 months goes through psychological change. And not a little bit either. And I'm saying 6 months, but the psychological change happens within weeks, a couple of
2
weeks.
months.
Thank you, love. Thank you, Mr. See, this is why me and Mr. Balo right here. So what I'm saying, thank you. So you understand what I'm saying? So when we think about it in that context, I need women to stop this mess y'all talking about. Get your whole life together, because you are making a complete fool of yourself, and then you're manipulating, like you said, Pearl. You're manipulating these men because you know you can. And you can from the standpoint of using, again, these constructs that currently exist, that we did help to create them. I'm not going to say we didn't, but you're falling back on these constructs as your scapegoat. We see this oftentimes, even, oh God, I said I was going to shut up, so y'all done got me hot. So let me say this. No, because one thing that I see, and a couple of things. One thing that I see from a legal standpoint, number one, from the legal side of things, men and domestic violence. Pearl, you spoke to this. Oh, he hit me. Oh, he did this. Let me explain something to y'all. Fellas, and I've said this on an episode that we've done before, please stop playing games with these women. That little Krishan Rock and that Blueface dude, I don't even know them people, but let me say something. Sir, y'all, you better stop playing with her. Have her little hind parts locked up for 48 and keep on locking her up for 48. Get a restraining order. Stop playing. And I don't, well, guess what? God bless her. I heard about that.
You done got doctor started.
But we need to stop playing games with these women because they feel like they can do these things. And then when the table is turned, and even if it's not even turned, she can play the victim and the law automatically assumes that she is telling the truth, because a woman is so delicate and she's not as strong as a man.
Whoa,
so there's no way.
Do you believe that?
I'm telling you how the law works.
Do you believe that? Wait a minute. Do you believe that? Or is it that we don't even realize we're playing into the narrative that Black men are violent?
I ain't even talking about Black men. I'm talking about just men. I ain't even making this into a racial scenario. I'm speaking in generalistic terms tonight. I'm not making this into a racial or ethnic conversation. It is strictly men versus women, and I use that lightly. Men are getting thrown under the bus because women are using the system to their advantage. And again, until men start calling them out on their crap, same thing gonna happen. Another scenario, and then I'm gonna be quiet. The other thing, divorce. How many men are not, and I'm saying divorce, but even in child custody cases, how many brothers are out here that want their children? And then when they go to make a case in order to get their child from this woman who oftentimes, well, in certain scenarios, let me clean it up. In certain scenarios, the mother is really not the best interest or the best parent for the child. But that father gets passed over because the construct, societal construct, is that the mother is the nurturer. She's the one that's going to be in the best interest of the child. If we don't stop this mess, and then later on, and it recently happened. Oh my God. There was a recent case where this mother, all three of her children, she killed all three of her children. And the father was trying to get custody of the children. Yes.
There's multiple cases like
It's
that.
multiple, but this is what I'm speaking to. Because we're not holding these women accountable. That's all I got to say. Mr.
Well,
Bailey,
the very thing that we fight,
go ahead, baby.
the very thing we fight not to be judged by is what we use to get our way.
There it is.
Yeah. I think another thing too is, you know, I mean, just I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. Like I ain't getting too deep, but I think simps are a problem. You know, a lot of these simps out here be out here boosting people's heads up, and you know, just trying to get do anything to get laid, and they telling them, you know, oh no, you're not wrong, it's all good, you know.
But wouldn't that play to the not every black woman is a black queen?
Yeah, not everybody's a queen. Not everybody.
I do think it's a lack of leadership too. It's so many control, but I think okay. So, you know, we've said before in the show, we've had to talk, are black men the problem, blah, blah, blah. My thing is, who are raising these black men? Yeah. We are. So if black men are the problem, so are black women. You can't have one without the other. Are men the issue? Who are raising the men? So we'll take the color out. We are. So again, you can't have an issue with men and not have an issue with women because the collaboration is the combination that makes it work. Period. I'm not even getting into spirituality or God, but there's a reason it takes a man and a woman to have, because there's a concept behind it that works because two pieces are coming together to do one. So my issue is we have to be able to step back and be self-aware as women. We cannot keep blaming men for stuff and manipulating them to get our way. It's just not going to work. It's just not.
But women are not going to learn that until men and even us as women, until we start calling out our sister friends out on their mess.
Oh, well, I do.
Well, so let's see what Balo got. He's been sitting patiently. I see them over in there stewing.
He over there.
He's like, it's almost right.
I'm going to ask a simple question. What is a woman and what is a man? Now we know that the physical characteristics of each would determine the man and the woman. Right. But the problem is, when we hit a certain age, we consider ourselves grown. Mm-hmm. We consider ourselves, able to make those critical decisions. Mm-hmm. But based off, where you come from, your environment, some of those decisions may be skewed in the wrong way.
Yeah.
If society has dictated what it is to be an adult in the current society for which we live in, then we are screwed. Mm-hmm. You got to understand this. A lot of our young men are raised by single mothers who are traumatized from bad relationships. So you've got that dynamic playing out. That's right. So you've got men that they love their mama, so they're gonna cater to making sure that woman gets what she wants and gonna let her have her way until she meets a man who was raised in a household that had both mother and father in it. And he's gonna see how the dynamic is supposed to play out. Then you got that one kid that didn't have neither one. Mm-hmm. He a stone cold player. She a stone cold player. They manipulating the game, and then they got a group of followers that they teach how to manipulate the game, and therein lies your problem. Mm-hmm. When you have that many different dynamics playing out in the two player system. Hey, you ever seen the blue screen of death on a computer when it crashes? Mm-hmm. That's what happens. The system crashes. Where you have people set up in child support court begging for custody of their children, even though they're the better parent. Where you have a bunch of kids in foster care, where you have a bunch of women walking around by I don't need no man. Where you got a bunch of dudes hollering like if that be, you know what I'm saying? That's where your problem lies. I posted some today. We got too many boys claiming to be men. I should have twisted it around and said we got too many girls claiming to be women. Just because you the age of 18 or 21 doesn't make you a man or a woman. What makes you a man or a woman is up here. But the problem is Up here is screwed up from the time you walked there, from the time you was able to comprehend what's going on around you, because you were given a bad example of what it is to be a man or a woman. I was raised up in the house. My daddy was the biggest player in the mountain. 32 years in the Marine Corps, 17 kids he got around. So my daddy's eyes, it was all right to go out and play the game, sort your royal oats. Now my mom, on the other hand, my mom was all about, man, treat them right, do what you're supposed to do. Got it. My dad wasn't having none of that. So I seen the extremes of both sides of it. I just chose, you know what, man, I ain't gonna do this. Child support. I'm already on child support for one. They killing me. Can't do this no more. I learned the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we see a lot of times. You have to learn the hard way. You got a woman with 4 or 5 different kids with 4 or 5 different baby daddies. Look, ain't nobody speaking to nobody, ain't nobody communicating with nobody, ain't nobody. The kids in the middle of it, they catching all those. So you got 4 or 5 different screwed up kids dealing with 2 screwed up parents and a screwed up system. Guess what? Failure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Enough say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be the difference with someone who's raised on survival versus someone who's raised on love? I mean,
You said raised on survival. Now, survival makes you push things into the extreme, right? If I'm living to survive, if I'm just on this earth to survive, that means everything is extreme for me. That means I'm gonna push it to the limit. Now, love is optional. Love is something that's guaranteed at any corner of life. Love is really something that's earned. Survival should be the better. When you look at life, survival should be, and when you look at the foundation of life, survival should be at the bottom. Love should be, as you move close to the middle of your, what it is to be alive. Love should be in the middle. But if you basing your life at the bare minimum Neanderthal type scenario, that's survival. That's what they done as a Neanderthal.
And that's what I'm saying. People who are raised, like, for example, Royal said, people like, I don't need a man because they didn't see it, but it's because they were raised to survive. They're not really they're the bare minimum. Like,
and it's not even that they didn't see it. We got a whole generation of young ladies who some of them actually did have, strong figures in their family. They just are like, I'm pro woman, period. I don't need you. That's a whole thing.
You is the view of life through the survivor's eye and the view of life from the lover, person raised in love and chooses, because we want to say it's a choice, because you choose to live on survival too. You just said I saw it and I chose not to do that.
Speaking of that, I think let's see if this is an example. This is one now. I can play this now because there's a lot of cursing, so people don't like you playing a lot.
Be warned.
But so check. Speaking of survival, this young lady, I don't know. I think she's on survival. Let's see here.
What's down bad?
What's the whole economy?
If I'm fucking a nigga, and he good and he straight and he got his shit together and stuff, but I'm over here trying to figure out every day what the fuck I got going on, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, and this nigga fucking, he can call me every day to fuck on me, but he know what I got going on, but he ain't trying to help at all. That's poor pussy management. Why you fucking on that nigga?
So it sounds like you have great pussy management, but horrible mental management. Because why the fuck can't you figure out what you want to do with your life? I'm just saying, like, we adults, why the fuck do I got to figure out what you want? I got to help you get to a better position in life because I want to bust a nut? That's a hell of a responsibility. That's all I'm saying. You keep talking about, the business management is cool, but what about the mental management? You constantly fucked up. I can't figure my man, and you just want to just keep fucking, and I can't figure out what my bills and I just don't know what's going on, and I just, oh my God, and I'm at my boutique, ain't taking off like I thought it was, and ain't nobody subscribed to my OnlyFans.
Exactly, Brian.
I seen that. So what he said is what it really boils down to, and Dr. Rain, if I pronounce it right, it's choices.
Yes.
Everything, every movement, everything we do in life is based on choices.
It is.
I tell my son this all the time because he's a young 24-year-old Thundercat. I tell him, I said, you think you got game, son? I see you out here. I said, your game is on a level of 0 compared to a woman's. If a woman played you, if a woman wanted to play you, she could, because everything you trying to get from her, she owned it. What you got to understand is you got to be her equal yoke. You can't be somebody that's coming in from behind. Now, if she chooses to deal with you on a lower level, understand you are on that lower level for a reason. That's because she got you there. Now, I said woman, not girl. Now, girl let you come over and do what you want to do, even though she above you on that level of, from a financial standpoint, or even from, she got a little stuff together. A girl will let you come play her. A woman gonna play you. Understand that. He want to argue with me until he found out. Then he hit me like, Daddy, you was right. I said, son, listen, I've been played. I was younger one time. I mean, shit, up there with Knox, up there at Fort Lewis, I was the young Thundercat. You know what I'm saying? I was with an older lady, and what I was to her, I was physical enjoyment. She called me up when she needed me. Let me knock something loose from her, and then when I could call her and it just goes straight to voicemail. And I'm looking like, dog, I thought that was my boo.
That's a downtown days.
I wasn't her boo. I was just physical enjoyment.
Right.
What I learned though, she knew exactly what she wanted. She didn't disrespect me or nothing like that. She knew exactly what she wanted. She was empowered. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she wanted out of me. She didn't mislead me, and she told me she didn't mislead me. She told me, she said, "Look, I'll call you when I need you." But I caught feelings though, because you know what I'm saying. I thought I was a pretty little yellow boy. I was bright at the time because light skinned dudes was in, and Junior was at the time. I was bright. This is for about the 3 deployments to Iraq. I was light skinned, about halfway cute, had a bunch of hair. I was I could dance too, but it don't work like that, But I'm listening to these conversations. What it really boils down to is we have failed as society in what we define as men and women. We have failed at every level, and we have let social media, we have let media in general dictate on what we say what men and women are. And it's not just right now. This has been going on since the 80s, really, when we really started, really since Reaganomics, if you really want to boil down to it. I'm not going to dig into that, but it's really since
don't go there. But
I'll pass it on. I'll let Black.
No, I'm just saying that topic is a good one, deep one, a very deep one. But yeah, I agree. I agree.
And I think when I heard you speak about that young lady and your experience with her, she was coming at you with an understanding of her own, like you said, she was empowered. So she had her own understanding of accountability. She won't trying to get at you like that. You know what I mean? But the thing is, now you got because you got caught up in your feelings. That's a whole other conversation.
You already know. I was playing Keith Sweat every night.
Well, is it because you felt like she want me? She needs me.
First of all,
is that what it was? Or she used the P power.
She used the hell out of that P power.
That's part of the problem.
But again,
it went and they got you.
But she had an understanding. There was accountability there. What's happening today in our lovely generation of people is that women are using their P power in order to elevate. And we had this conversation with the whole Amber Rose thing, the ownership. We had this whole conversation about this. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about holding women accountable. You can't go out here throwing your piece everywhere and throwing your titties up in the screen and your booty all out for everybody, and then think that nobody's going to assume that you about that life. Because that's the image that, and I'm not, again, I ain't getting into right or wrong on that. I'm just saying that is the perception. So when somebody calls you out on it, like in that scenario, that we watched, when that gentleman had this conversation with Amber Rose and called her out on certain elements of that, then she got what you said it's called, Darvo. That's what she did.
Deny, attack, and reverse.
That's what she did.
Well, I think that goes right back to,
right.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what I was saying. We make choices, but we don't want to own it. Own the choice. You are free to make whatever choice you want, but you are not excused from whatever the consequences are of that choice. And I think that's where we are. We make all these choices in the moment, but then now the consequences in your face, now you want to, it's not my fault, it's their fault. Or you are doing all this stuff, like the lady said, you're doing all this stuff with all these men, you get pregnant, and you be like, oh, he ain't ish because he don't want to take care of his baby. But we made decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if that man died the next day? You'd be doing it by yourself.
That part.
I'm just being real. I just see lots of people making choices. I see lots of females making choices, but I don't see the same amount of those people taking accountability and owning the choices and the consequences that came from those choices and move it forward. We're looking for someone to point the finger at. It's their fault. Their fault. I thought he wanted this. I thought he wanted that. What choice did you make for yourself?
Well, it's like some specific examples. Like I see some contradictions. Like I see people, a woman to have like a baby with somebody who's got like a bunch of kids already. Like Future, like you take Future, like if you the first one, okay. The second one, well, you like in the 6, 7, 8, and
we already said,
listen, like you, there's got to be some.
If you're not taking care of your kids, how can we have a future?
And there's another contradiction. I was looking at earlier. I was following a lady on Facebook, and she was always talking. She was talking about she's in the I don't need a man crowd.
Yep.
Man, whatever, we don't really need them. But then on the other hand, I heard she was saying like we need to protect Black women. And I asked on the page one time too, and nobody ever responded to it. Well, who exactly do you want to protect the Black women? If it's not the Black women themselves, would it be the men? So would that mean you actually need men for some? Because it's confusing. Like protect Black women. I don't need a man. I don't know. What somebody help me out there. Like, what is that? So what does it mean? If you don't need them, but you want protection, how's that work? I don't get it. So it's I don't know what y'all think about that.
I have a daughter who's in college right now, goes to HBCU, Tennessee State University. You know what I'm saying? I taught her the game from a young age. And one thing I can tell you is when you teach your daughter, how men operate, how they operate, and I taught her the same way I taught my sons, but I also told us a stereotype to go around with a woman who's promiscuous. Understand that. Now, men, we get glorified for being that way. We get, we get, oh, that boy, that got him. I got a bunch of girls say, women, they call you a hoe.
That's right.
Real quick.
I said, understand that. Now, I'm teaching you this game. Now, you can pimp the game or you can pimp the system. Now, pimping the system means, listen, I'm going to get what I got coming to me. I'm going to grind hard. I'm going to graduate on time. I'm going to graduate early. I'm going to graduate with honor. And I'm going to do the system the way it's supposed to be done. I'm going to, get my profession, get a job, get my house, get a husband, get kids. That's pimping the system. Now, if you pimp the game now, when you play that game, it's like playing Russian roulette. Every now and then, it's a bullet going to fire out that gun, and there goes the consequence. Mm-hmm. That consequence could be a child, could be an STD, it could be a host of things. Mm-hmm. That's called a choice. Mm-hmm. My daughter like, Daddy, I said, don't say you would never. Don't say you would never. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear you would never, because look, shit happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember, you own your body. No one owns it but you. And like you said, the women got 41 different ways to say no.
Yeah.
To handle your problem. I didn't say 41 different ways at that point in time, but I said you own your body.
Right.
I want you to be
Responsibility,
respectful.
man. Sexual responsibility.
Yeah.
We kind of gotten away from that with all this anything goes stuff, and just be free. But hey, it's consequences, man. Do what you do, but don't be on here crying about the consequences and about how the man got you pregnant, and now we can talk about that another night about how the men's responsibility. I'm a strong advocate of withholding your seed. Don't be spreading your seed all over the place. It's some I call them Peter Pans. There's a lot of Peter Pans out here.
Lots.
Who just not really trying to grow up and do the right thing. But if you don't let them, they just gonna be dusty and alone. But a lot of people, you letting them, and you gotta be careful out here because the woman bears more responsibility. I've never felt the contraction. Okay, I will never feel what it's like to carry a baby, no matter how much sex I have. But a woman will. Okay, so I would be, if I was a woman, I'd be definitely more on that than I see a lot of women being. A lot of this free stuff. We're too overly sexual. Wop, wop, wop.
Well, we romanticize sex too. We think sex means love or sex means long term. Sometimes it's just sex.
Well, see, I mean, you said we romanticize, sex. But do we? No. It depends on I look at it depends on your genre of music you listen to. I'm an R&B guy, so I'm sensual. A lot of these young cats ain't. They hip hop. They're they're aggressive. Some women like it, some women don't.
Agreed. But just because a man is consistently having sex with me doesn't mean that he loves me or wants to lock it down and be with me. No. That's what I'm saying. We, as women, we go, oh, he did it to me like that, or he keep coming back, so he wants me. No, you don't. You have people in whole relationships feeling stuck because the sex is good. Get out of here.
So there lies the misconception. See, a lot of people don't think women have the same sex drive as men. I will tell you, a woman's sex drive is far greater than a man, but they got a little bit more control than we do. Real talk. I'm just gonna put that. Hey, listen, anatomy will not let us say that we ain't ready to go. You can look at us physically like, yo, he's ready to go. Real talk. A woman can be like, you know what? I ain't feeling you tonight, even though she's feeling you to the fullest. She is there.
A man is ready if the wind blow the right way.
Hold up. Not all men.
I'm sorry. There are men. There are men, not all men. But what I'm saying is
dedicated to men who are not that way.
What I'm saying, I guess more of what I'm saying is the view of you're ready, the thing that shows that you are aroused doesn't even take a woman sometimes. That's what I'm saying to you. You can get there without that. Whereas a woman can be aroused, you'll never know. She got to tell you.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So it's a different control tactic. It is a power that we overuse.
We don't have that.
Yeah, it's a power we overuse.
We don't have that.
It's a power we overuse, and we do not understand that power. And that's why I said then we turn up. There are females. There are females that turn around because they do not know how to handle that power, and now they're blaming the man.
So I don't know who else works in corporate America in this group here. I work in. I'm guessing the rest of you guys do as well. I know Knox is a teacher.
Royal's a
and
teacher.
I'm in a lot of meetings, and you can I can almost watch a woman work a room. And when I say work a room, it's not in a provocative way. But when we were having in-person meetings at my office, I can watch her work the room. A woman can be seductive and pinpoint at the same time. And it's almost exotic when they do it, because when you do it, you driving home your message and you intoxicating your audience, and you got them. So whatever you say, they gonna run with, especially if you're dealing with a group of men who ain't satisfied. But you can do the same thing with a man. Now, I'm not saying I'm no Shamar Moore, But when I got to, I work in a hospital environment. I work, in information security. So when I deal with certain groups, I know what suits to wear. I know to wear the slim fit, the athletic fit suit. And I also know when I got to interact with a bunch of women to get my point across, to keep their attention, I play the game. Now I'm not finna mess with none of them females, and not even remotely. But I know if I want to get my point across to them, I'm gonna play the game. Same thing I'm trying to teach my daughter, play the game. But I'm gonna leave it up to the doc here, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna tell me where I'm wrong and when I'm right on this.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But what I will say to piggyback off of you is the knowledge that you're instilling in your daughter is going to help her be a woman who's able to establish accountability for herself, so that she can stand on her own, be assertive, and still be a lady. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And not even from a standpoint of using her privilege as a woman in all of its facets to manipulate someone, but to get what she get on her own bearing. And that's what I hear that you're doing with her. And so as we get ready to close out, my encouragement to men is to have straight up hard conversation with the woman or women that you're dealing with when they on some BS. Call them out on their mess. And let me state this. When you call them out on their mess, don't come at them in a confrontational manner. Okay? Because just as men, you wouldn't want a woman to come at you in a confrontational way. It's the same effect. Don't poke the bear, because you start poking the bear, you're gonna get what? Mauled. So don't yes, so don't poke the bear, but go into it maturely. I'm gonna use your conversation earlier. Go into it maturely and specifically, explicitly state, this is what I see. This is what's going on. What can you do to change this for the benefit? The operative word here is benefit, because women don't understand that these tactics that they're using by using their privilege in this manner is really not benefiting them in the grand scheme of things. So see how I'm massaging these words? You got to massage a woman. Like I was trying to massage Mike on that chat, that message earlier. You gotta massage it. And in a way that they can receive it and understand, I want this relationship, if they're in a relationship, I want this relationship to work, but this is what I'm seeing. How can you go about changing it? Because this is what it is. And after y'all conversation, and she's not willing to make any adjustments, then you go ahead and let her know, look, baby, this ain't gonna work. And you leave. Because if you don't leave, then you are making the choice to stay in a toxic, effed up relationship on your own recognizance, and you're gonna get what you get. And I don't want to hear you
have to face
men
what? Accountability.
Absolutely. I don't want to hear you, man, talking about this woman when I just told you what to do. If she ain't gonna change, and it's a two-way street, but specifically with our conversation tonight, if she's not willing to see the wrong and admit the wrong and hold herself accountable and make those necessary changes for herself in order to benefit the greater good, deuce out.
Dr. Roy Rain breaking up families tonight. No, I'm just joking. Hey, but hey, that's some jewels though. Those some jewels though.
What you got, Bayla?
I'm gonna close with this. This goes for both men and women.
Oh, hold on. This is gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's real simple, man.
Say nothing after this.
It's real simple. If crossing my bottom line offends you, then don't cross it.
Hey, see what I said? We could just pass the plate and say good night.
So my boy be in the lab. He be in the lab. He like, hold on, I'm gonna kill the ass with this one. Hold on. Okay.
Yes.
Hey man, look. Oh shit, we got to an hour already.
Yeah, that's what I was like. After that, we were good.
Bye. All right, hey man. So, man,
I will tell you this, man. This is my first time with Dr. Rain. I've been in conversation with Black Pearl. This was a while ago, and me and Nas. This is my first time with you, Dr. Rain.
You know, her husband's a fellow veteran too.
Yeah, he is.
Husband of what?
Fellow vet.
He's a fellow vet. He's an Army guy too.
Yes, Army.
Me and my boy Knox, we them like, you know, so we both Prince Hall. So
and he is too.
Hey man, that's three of us. We Prince Hall. I will tell you, I would love to have you speak at a couple of events. We, you know, really in the late spring, early summer. But that you speak, you know, really, I would like to have all of you guys. You know, I like the sashness of Black Pearl. You come with it.
We'll set it up. We'll set it up offline, brother. We'll set that up. That sounds good. All right.
I mean, I truly did enjoy this conversation. I really did.
Absolutely.
And also, if you want to know what I was sipping on the whole time,
oh, that's what make you deep right there.
Yeah, man, that's literally a gift to me. I don't want to know how much it costs. I think it's like $800 a bottle.
That's a good corporate job. Well, we trying to get your pot. Boy,
I will be in North Carolina in about 3 weeks.
Holla at us.
All right, well, let's wrap up here.
All right, so we can go ahead and wrap up. And so hey, stay offline so we get you hooked up. We get you all the arrangements, all the visitations. All right, so look, everybody be good to each other, be accountable, okay? And you know, this has been the Good Guy Experience, where experience is always good. And make sure y'all go to YouTube and subscribe, hit the bell.
Really, go to YouTube. I'm gonna share it with everybody in my Facebook family. We really need to get our subscriptions up, our likes up, man. Because I was on it today, man. I mean, we definitely need to get it up. This is probably gonna be a hot one here because we hear some hot ones.
No complaints there. No complaints there. All right, y'all. We see y'all next time. All right.